Hi there, I'm doing a update today on electric cars and the fact that the human race has not really improved that much in the last 100 years as it goes towards electric vehicles that are available to the public. Now, in the UK, you get the opportunity to go onto this website, which is called www.goinggreen.co.uk. Excuse me, and for £9,000, which is getting on to $15,000, 15,000 euros, you can buy a crash test failure G-Whiz. This is a miniature car which seats 4 people that if you have a crash in, if something hits you at a major speed, it will kill you because it fails the crash test severely badly. Plus, you get a car which has got a top speed of around about 50 miles an hour and has a range of up to 48 miles, up to maximum 48 miles. Now, then I'm going to go on to a different website now, and that's just a little bit of I'll just stay for a start before I go on to the next website. That's just a little bit of information off the goinggreen.co.uk website. Now I'm going to another website now, which is a Wikipedia website, and I'm reading a little bit about the Detroit Electric Borum car, or Broham, whatever, and it was built in the period of 1907 to 1939, up to the start of the Second World War, basically. This car had you could buy it with a lead acid battery, or you could have it upgraded for another $600, which was a considerable amount of money, up to a nickel iron battery. $600, you're talking around about today a lot of money. You're talking lots of money today, today's money. I'll work it out at some point. But basically, these cars were advertised at doing 20 miles an hour, which isn't a lot, but the standard lead acid version was doing 80 miles per charge. So if you doubled the speed, you'd half the mileage. Basically, that's what happens with electricity. If you double the amount of speed that you get, double the current, you half the amount of battery life, thereabouts. So I'm just going to say it's on a par to today. You haven't really increased that much, but if you put the nickel iron battery into this with this extra £600, same car, it would now go from 80 miles per charge to 211 miles per charge, and this was back in 1907. You could buy this thing. Unfortunately, the petrol diesel industry completely destroyed the electric industry. Well, in fact it didn't. People stopped investing in electric power and carried on pumping money into the oil companies. So I think what I'm trying to say is, in 100 years we have the chance to go for clean, zero emitting pollutants cars to wherever you go, they will dump their crap there, cars. So let's take, for instance, just a little scenario. You take a petrol burning or diesel burning car from your house and you go for a drive to the seaside. Okay? And you get to the seaside and you're sitting there in your car in the traffic jam and you're emitting CO2 and heavy metals, mercury and lead and all other sorts of heavy metals which these engines kick out, onto the roadside near the seaside, going into the sea and polluting the sea and the fish. Alternative thing that you could have is 100 years of technology into batteries. Now you've got batteries which will give you 100 mile an hour performance and give you 300-400 miles per charge. With 100 years of technology in batteries, you would have been there easily. So now you're at the seaside in your battery powered car, and the power station's somewhere safe because you realise it's a dangerous thing, and you're recycling the fumes from that and doing something with them. I think you can see the difference that the world would be if we didn't pollute everywhere we went with our vehicles, can't you? Instead of taking your pollution with you, you just keep it in one spot by making a power station, recharging your batteries in your car from that power station, and then just having the pollution in one area, instead of spreading it around everywhere. And hoarding it into a city, because when you look at a city in summertime, the purple haze, or the mauve, pink, purpley haze that hovers above cities, it's called smog, is a clear indicator of greenhouse gases trapped over the city. And if you drive from outside of a city into the city, and you've got a temperature gauge in your car, you will notice that it actually gets hotter as you go into the city, because the greenhouse gases are trapping the heat into the cities. Now, I've got a miles better way of trapping heat into cities if you want to keep the heat in cities. Let's build lots of high-rise buildings, and build roofs from roof to roof. There we go. And then have big hot air blowers, electric hot air blowers, keeping the heat in. Instead of creating global warming gases, which do it, some would say naturally. But the thing is, you can't turn these gases on and off at the flick of a switch. I can turn my hot air blowers off at the flick of a switch. So I think what I'm trying to say, and if you've got fair ears and you're not quite used to my web vlogs yet, cover your ears now, because I'm going to start swearing. Basically, you've got a bunch of scientists, right? And these people are supposed to be clever. Supposed to be. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Unfortunately, the government of the planet, like the scientists that can make them a short-term buck. I call these scientists small-minded bleep bleeps. Dipshits. These are the kind of men that need to be hung by their testicles, because they live for today and say fuck you to tomorrow, yet they carry on and bear children, or get their wives to bear children for them. And with that kind of mental attitude 100 years ago, they're not living anymore, but their children and grandchildren and probably great-grandchildren are now alive. That's a fantastic present that you've passed on. A fantastic one. And I'm sure they're absolutely congratulating you for it now. Oh, my dad was an awesome scientist. Yeah, he put the propaganda in that made the internal combustion engine the #1 polluter on the planet. Awesome. I'm proud of my granddaddy, my great-granddaddy. What a bunch of complete cretins we humans are. Alright, that's as much as I want to say on this today. I've had my little swear and my little rant, and I hope you've taken a little bit from what I've said to you and gone out there and researched a bit for yourself about the ins and outs of global warming and what we could have done with a little bit better foresight. Thank you for listening. I'll see you soon.